Our mission here is, well, it's pretty simple. We take a complex challenge, we look at the best research out there, and we try to distill it all down into something you can actually use.
Into actionable knowledge.
Exactly. And today, we are tackling what I think is the real bottleneck in learning a language, especially English. It's not just what you study, it's
Yeah.
how you study.
It really is. It's the difference between, having an intention and taking action.
Ah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, most people, they intend to study hard, but they don't have the underlying system, the structure to make that study consistent.
So all those grammar rules and vocabulary lists you collect are just sitting there.
They're like trying to fill a high-performance sports car with water instead of premium fuel. It just won't run. You have to build the system first.
That is a perfect analogy. And our source material today is, it's a fantastic synthesis of these learning strategies, all boiled down to 7 foundational habits.
And then when we say habits, we should be really clear about what that means.
Right. We're not talking about some painful, forced effort you have to do for a while. We mean the things you do every day that are so automatic you don't even think about them. Like brushing your teeth.
Or making coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And that automatic quality, that's the whole goal here.
Why is that so important?
Because a good habit makes things easier. It bypasses the mental cost of starting. You know that moment where you negotiate with yourself?
Oh, I know that moment very, very well. Should I study now? I'm tired. Maybe later.
That's the moment where all good intentions go to die. The power of a habit is that it eliminates that negotiation.
So you stop having to use willpower to start studying, you just do it.
Exactly. The source frames it beautifully. Learning just becomes a natural part of your day, like eating breakfast. It's not something you have to be motivated for. It relies on your structure.
So our mission today is to unpack these 7 habits. We're going to look at how to do them and the science behind why they work. We're giving you the blueprint for a strong, sustainable learning routine.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Establishing the foundation, which is all about place and time.
The where and the when.
Habit number 1. This one sounds almost deceptively simple. Find a special study place. The sources call this your English corner.
I love that term.
Me too.
Yeah.
But it's not just any place you happen to sit down, right? It has to be a designated spot.
It has to be reserved just for learning English. And the power here is all psychological conditioning.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about your kitchen table. You eat there, you pay bills there, you chat with your family there. When you sit down, your brain gets all these mixed signals.
Right. Is it time to relax or is it time to work hard?
Precisely. But if you have one spot, a specific corner of a desk, a particular chair, that place becomes a powerful cue. It's classical conditioning.
Like Pavlov's dogs with the bell.
Exactly like that. The sight of that chair, maybe the English notebook that's sitting there,
Yeah.
that's the bell. Over time, your brain makes the connection. The second you sit there, it automatically signals, okay, it's time to study English.
So you're basically bypassing that whole mental warm-up period, the 5 or 10 minutes it usually takes to get your head in the game.
You're priming the learning machine instantly.
Yeah.
You save so much mental energy. Every minute you sit there
Yeah.
is a minute spent on the material, not on fighting distraction.
The sources do have one really critical requirement for this English corner, though. It has to be quiet. No TV, no loud music.
Which seems obvious, but
But it's not always possible, is it? I mean,
Yeah.
what about people who live in busy, crowded, noisy homes where real silence is just a fantasy?
and that's a crucial challenge. The material is very realistic about this. It offers actionable solutions. The first one is technical. Get a good pair of noise-canceling headphones.
Creating your own little bubble of silence.
You create an auditory boundary. But it's also a social cue, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The headphones go on and it tells everyone else, I am unavailable right now.
Exactly. The second solution is more behavioral. It requires a bit of negotiation. You ask your family for a short, protected, quiet time.
And the material really stresses the word short. Just ask for 15 or 20 minutes.
Which is a highly reasonable request, even in the busiest home. It shows respect for everyone else's lives while still protecting your habit.
And as we'll get into, that small window of 15 or 20 minutes is actually all you need.
It's the essential first step. You create this little physical and mental sanctuary for learning.
I really do love that term, the English corner. It makes it sound like a pleasant place to go, not a chore.
And that matters. Giving it a name gives it an identity. So once you have the where, you have to anchor it with the when.
Which brings us right to habit two. Establish a regular study time. The power of routine.
It's all about consistency. Setting a schedule and studying at the same time every day. Maybe it's 7 a.m. before work. Maybe it's 9 p.m. after the kids are asleep.
And this taps into our biology, right? Our internal clocks.
Our circadian rhythms, yes. When you study at the same time every day, your brain actually starts to anticipate it. It prepares the neural pathways for learning.
So it's like my brain sets an alarm clock that says, okay, English time is coming up.
Functionally, yes, it knows what's coming, and that familiarity helps with memory. If you study at random times, your brain treats each session like a surprise. But if it's always at 7 a.m., it learns the routine.
Okay, but this brings up a question. The source suggests studying when your mind is fresh, like in the morning. What if you're a total night owl, like you only feel sharp at 10 p.m.?
It's a critical question,
Yeah.
and the answer is pretty clear. Consistency is more important than the ideal time.
Really?
Yes. If you're a night person, forcing yourself to have a terrible study session at 7 a.m. is just inefficient.
Yeah.
The main goal is building the automatic habit. So if 10 p.m. is your time, then 10 p.m. is the perfect time.
So find your own personal peak time and make it consistent.
Predictable input. That's the goal.
And this leads to what I think is the most important insight in this whole section, quality over quantity.
This is the foundation of cognitive efficiency. It is so much better to study for 20 minutes every single day than to cram for 2 hours on a Sunday.
I think most people would assume 2 hours has to be better. It's more time. Why is that thinking so wrong?
It's wrong because of how our brains work, and we have to fight something called the forgetting curve.
The forgetting curve. Okay, break that down for us.
Imagine you learn a new word. You're at the top of a very steep hill. If you don't look at that word again within 24 hours, you've slid about 80% of the way down that hill.
Wow, 80%.
It's a steep drop. So when you study for 2 hours straight, the first 30 minutes are great, but the next 90 minutes, your brain is tired. The quality of learning plummets.
And then you have a 6-day gap before you study again.
Exactly. So by the next Sunday, you've forgotten almost everything from last week. You spend most of your 2 hours just relearning what you already forgot.
It's like trying to fill a bucket with a huge hole in it.
A perfect analogy. But that short 20-minute daily session, that's called space practice. You learn something, and then the next day, before you slide too far down the hill, you review it.
You keep climbing back up the hill before you slide down.
And that constant light repetition tells your brain, hey, this information is important, don't throw it away. That's how you move something from short-term to long-term memory.
So 20 minutes of fresh, focused study is way more valuable than 2 hours of tired, scattered effort.
And it's psychologically easier, isn't it? Committing to 20 minutes feels manageable. Committing to 2 hours feels overwhelming.
Okay, so we have our English corner, we have our consistent time, we've built the foundation. Now we need the energy to actually get started when we sit down.
Now we move from foundation to activation.
This brings us to habit 3, which is all about motivation. Set small, achievable goals.
Yeah. Everyone has that big goal, right? I want to be fluent.
Or I want to pass the advanced exam, which is great for direction, but it's terrible for daily motivation.
It's just too big. It's too abstract. After your 20-minute session, you don't feel any closer to fluent, so you just feel frustrated. It feels like you're not making any progress.
And that leads to burnout. So small goals are the answer. They have to be something concrete that you can actually achieve today.
This is how you create a motivation loop. See, when you achieve a small, measurable goal, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine.
The reward chemical.
The reward chemical makes
Yeah.
you feel good. Wow, I did it. And that feeling of success, that competence, is what fuels you to do it again tomorrow.
It's like a constant drip feed of success that keeps you going. The sources have some really great examples of this.
They do. Don't just say, I'm going to study vocabulary. That's too vague.
Right. Instead, say, I am going to learn 3 new words about food.
Oh.
Be specific. Sausage, mustard, and parsley.
That's a finite, completable task. Or Listen to one song in English and understand the chorus.
I love this next one. Say good morning in English to a friend or a cashier today.
That real-world application is the strongest motivator of all. You're proving to yourself that this isn't just an academic exercise. It's a tool you can use right now.
So small goals turn this huge, terrifying mountain into a series of small, easy steps.
The only way to make a big journey possible.
Okay, so we've built the structure, we've fueled the engine with these small successes. Now we have to make sure the engine doesn't just seize up from boredom.
Which brings us to habit 4. Make studying fun.
This feels non-negotiable for the long haul.
It absolutely is. If your study routine is just reading a boring textbook, your brain is going to fight you every step of the way. Learning should be a happy thing. If it's fun, you want to do it again.
They're not forcing yourself anymore, so what are the best ways to make it fun?
The sources are big on using media, things that use both your ears and your eyes. Movies and TV shows are a perfect example.
And the recommendation is to watch with English audio and English subtitles on at the same time.
Yes, both at once.
Why both? Isn't that a little overwhelming?
It can be at first, but the payoff is huge. You're training your ear to hear the sounds while you see the exact spelling of the words. It connects the sound to the text.
And it helps close that gap between reading a word and actually recognizing it when someone says it.
And it becomes interactive. You can pause the show, look up a word, write it down. It turns watching TV into a game of discovery.
The next technique is music.
Right. Find a song you already love, look up the lyrics, and then sing along. Music engages the emotional parts of your brain, which makes vocabulary stick much, much faster. The melody is a powerful memory tool.
The source even has a cute little tip here. If you're shy about singing, just wear headphones.
It's a great reminder that this is for you, not for a performance. And then, of course, you have apps and games.
Which feel like playing, not studying.
They're designed that way. They use points and streaks and progress bars to tap into our brain's reward system. It's perfect for reviewing vocabulary without it feeling like a chore.
I think the key insight here is that you have to find what's fun for you.
Yes, this is crucial.
If you hate sci-fi movies, don't force yourself to watch them in English. If you love cooking, find cooking shows or recipes in English.
Exactly. When you can connect learning English to a hobby you already have, you stop seeing it as studying and you start seeing it as access.
Access to more of what you already love? That's a huge mental shift.
And that shift is what will carry you through the tough parts.
Okay, we have the structure, we have the engagement. Now we have to make sure all this great work doesn't just disappear.
Time to talk about retention.
Which brings us to habit 5. Review, review, review. This is our weapon against that forgetting curve you mentioned.
It's the counterpunch. Review just means looking at old material again so it moves into your long-term memory.
Because without it, the new words you learn today can literally vanish by tomorrow.
They really can. Your brain needs to see new information multiple times before it decides, okay, this is important, I should keep it. If it only sees it once, it assumes it's junk and throws it out.
So how do we review in a systematic way, not just flipping through old notes?
The classic method, and it's classic for a reason, is the flashcard.
Old school.
Old school, but effective. You write the English word on one side. On the other side, you either draw a little picture,
Which is great for visual learners.
or you write the word in your native language. That connection between an image and the word is incredibly powerful for memory.
And flashcards are so portable, you can use them anywhere.
Exactly. You can turn those dead minutes, waiting for the bus, standing in line, into productive little review sessions.
But the key isn't just looking at them, is it?
No, absolutely not. Passive reading is not very effective. The sources recommend active recall.
Active recall.
You turn it into a little game, you look at the picture side, and you try to say the English word out loud. Then you flip it over to check.
Ah, so the effort of trying to remember the word is what actually strengthens the memory?
Much more than just passively recognizing it.
No.
And the source gives us a great practical way to fit this into our daily 20-minute session. The 10 to 5 split. Right. Spend 10 minutes on new material, today's 3 new words, or a new grammar rule. And then spend a dedicated 5 minutes just reviewing old stuff from yesterday.
That 5 minutes is so critical. It stops the forgetting curve right in its tracks.
And you create a compound effect. Every day you're building on a solid foundation instead of starting over.
Okay, so once we have the technical routine down, the place, the time, the goals, the fun, the review, we have to deal with the big psychological barrier,
The one that stops most learners in their tracks. The fear of failure.
which is habit 6. Be okay with mistakes. This is about training a mental muscle, isn't it?
It is. It's about tackling that deep fear of making a mistake, of sounding silly, of being laughed at.
And if that fear is too strong, you stop trying. You stop speaking.
And your progress stalls completely. The mental shift you have to make here is huge. You have to reframe what a mistake even is.
The source says mistakes are your friends. That sounds nice, but also kind of hard to believe.
It does, but it's true. The moment of correction is one of the most powerful learning moments your brain can have.
How so?
Well, when you make a mistake and someone corrects you, your brain registers the error, the little jolt of emotion, even embarrassment, and the correct information all at once.
The source used that example of mixing up hungry and angry.
Right, and that moment sticks forever. The person said, "I am angry," when they meant, "I am hungry." The confusion that followed, the clarification, that whole experience is so rich with context and emotion that it locks the correct word, hungry, into your memory far better than just reading it on a list.
So a mistake is actually proof that you're learning. As the source says, it's proof that you are trying.
Exactly. If you're not making mistakes, it means you're not leaving your comfort zone. You're only using the words you already know perfectly. The only way to get better is to risk making an error.
Okay, but I want to push back a little here. It's easy for us to say be brave, but what if someone is really shy? Or what if they have been laughed at before? That fear is real.
It's very real. And the advice here shifts from just mindset to actual strategy. First, remember that the goal is communication, not perfection.
Lower the stakes.
Precisely. As long as the other person understood your idea,
Yeah.
even if your grammar was messy, you succeeded. Second, you can control the feedback you get.
How do you do that?
You can tell your friend or language partner, "Hey, please correct my 5 biggest mistakes today, but don't interrupt me for every little thing." You're asking for specific, manageable feedback.
That's smart. It turns a scary critique into a targeted practice session. You're in control.
It's about turning that passive fear into active management. You just have to try. And remember, even native speakers make mistakes all the time. The goal is to be understood, not to be perfect.
That's a huge mental shift, turning anxiety into an opportunity. Okay, so with all this focus and bravery, we need one last habit to make sure we don't just burn out.
The habit of restoration.
Our final habit, habit 7, take breaks. This one feels so counterintuitive because we're taught that more time equals more work done.
But the source calls this true science, and it is. It's rooted in the neuroscience of attention. Your brain literally cannot maintain high-intensity focus for hours on end.
It gets tired.
It gets tired. After about 20 or 30 minutes, your cognitive resources start to run low, and that's when your mind starts to wander. You start thinking about lunch or checking your phone.
And that wandering is a signal from your brain.
It is an alarm bell.
Good.
It's saying, "I'm out of fuel." And trying to push through that is just counterproductive. You'll sit there for another 10 minutes and absorb nothing.
So the technique recommended here is very structured. It's not just take a break when you feel like it.
No, it's structured intervals. It's basically the Pomodoro technique. You study with intense focus for 25 minutes, and then you take a non-negotiable 5-minute break.
And that rhythm helps you stay focused during the 25 minutes because you know a break is coming.
It's the ultimate energy management system. It prevents burnout and means you can actually study for longer overall because the quality of your focus stays high.
But what you do on that break is critical. The sources have a huge warning. Do not check your phone. Why is that so bad?
This is a point so many people miss. The goal of the break is to rest your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain doing the heavy lifting. Checking your phone is not rest.
It's just switching channels, not turning the TV off.
Perfect analogy. Social media, news, texts, They all designed to grab your attention. It's a different kind of high-focus task, so you come back to your English book just as tired as when you left.
So what are the good break activities, the ones that actually rest your brain?
Simple, low-stimulation things. Stand up, stretch, walk around the room for a minute, get a glass of water.
And moving your body is key. Why is that?
Moving your body gets your blood circulating. More blood flow to the brain means more oxygen and glucose, which is literally brain fuel. It's a physical and mental reset. You sit back down feeling fresh and ready for the next 25 minutes.
So if you do all 7 of these things, you're not just studying anymore. You're engineering a high-output learning machine.
And they all work together. The English corner sets the stage. The daily routine gives you rhythm. Small goals give you fuel. Fun makes it stick. Review locks it in. Bravery lets you use it. And breaks keep the engine from overheating.
That was an amazing deep dive. Before we wrap up, let's do a really quick recap of all 7 habits just to lock them in.
Let's cement the blueprint.
Okay. Habit 1. Find your special, quiet English corner. Habit 2. Set a consistent study time. 15 to 20 minutes a day is better than a long session once a week.
Habit 3. Set small, easy goals for every session. That's your motivation engine. Habit 4. Make it fun. Use movies, music, games, anything you actually enjoy.
Habit 5. Review, review, review. Use active recall with things like flashcards to fight that forgetting curve.
Habit 6. Be okay with mistakes. Reframe them. They're not failures, they're proof you're trying, and they're powerful learning moments.
And finally, habit 7. Take short, structured breaks. Get up and move your body every 25 minutes to stay fresh.
And there's maybe one more habit, an emotional one that underpins all of this. Be kind to yourself.
Ah, that's so important and so often forgotten. Building a real habit takes time. It's not going to be perfect on day 1.
No, and if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. The source is very clear about this. Don't give up. Just start again the next day.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a long, nice walk, not a fast race. You have to learn to enjoy the walk.
And what you're really learning here is more than just English. You're learning how to learn. You're mastering how to manage your own focus and motivation. That's a skill you can apply to anything in your life.
A very valuable side effect.
Okay, so we've established that these 7 habits work together. They're a system. And that brings us to our final provocative thought. If these 7 habits are a chain, which link is the most important? I mean, which one, if you completely ignored it, would cause the entire routine to crumble the fastest?
That's a great question. Is it a foundational habit, like number 2, consistent time? If you don't show up, nothing else matters.
Or is it the mental habit?
Right.
Habit 6, being okay with mistakes. Because if you're too scared to actually use the language, then all the vocabulary and grammar you've learned is just useless.
You can have a perfect system, but if you're paralyzed by fear, the system produces nothing. So which is it? Structure or psychology?
We want you to tell us what you think. Which of these 7 habits do you think is the single most critical anchor for the whole system?
And go beyond that. Tell us what new habit you're going to try after hearing this. Or maybe you have a great study habit that we didn't even talk about. Share it so we can all help each other learn better.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into making your learning not just efficient, but truly enjoyable. Keep experimenting, stay positive, and we will see you next time on The Deep Dive.